So it's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show, and we are back, and I am so excited. I'm not sure if I'm excited because I only have, is it 2.5 hours or 3.5 hours more to go, or because Dan Zitofsky's here. Well, I'm going to have to say because Dan Zitofsky's here. That's the real reason I'm excited. Dan, I'm like so excited you're here. Like every time I talk to you, you are a bundle of knowledge of real estate. I remember Evan and I spending hours in your office weeks ago just learning about the stuff you're doing. You're not the normal real estate investor. You're the kind of guy who sits there and actually not only helps people but does stuff that everyone else wishes they can do. So tell me a little bit about why you do what you do and what it is you do and why you do what you do. There you go.
Great question. I want to thank you for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be here. I know we've been trying to do this for a long time, and I'm happy to finally get here in the midst of our schedule. And
I know. I thought you just didn't like me.
No, you know we love you.
No, of course. I'm teasing.
But why I do what I do, it's all, and a lot of that is coming out. Our book is actually being launched, it looks like next week. A lot of it is coming out in our story about our life and what happened. And I'm at this 27 years now. And I went through every facet of real estate you can go through. And I've done everything you could possibly do in the real estate where I thought being successful, and I'm going to shorten the story up because I know we don't have a lot of time, but I thought to be successful in real estate, you had to go out there and you had to drive the fancy cars and wear the nice watches and have the boats and all the, keep up with the Joneses. And I did that, and I was making a lot of money. We were doing 30, 40 flips a year.
Honey, we're selling the cars, and I'm getting rid of my watches, and since we didn't buy the boat yet, we'll be fine. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Thanks a lot.
What I realized is, like most people, and I know you have the school, and you ask people, what's your goal? What the hell? Why are you doing what you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you do what you do for? And nobody's going to come out, and everyone's going to tell you, I'm doing this because I want to travel. I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time with my friends. I want to send my kids to college. I want to retire my husband, my wife, my partner, myself. But their actions do not speak for the same thing their vision is saying. All right? So I had to make that change about 6-7 years ago. And, I was working 90 to 100 hours a week. I had everything you could imagine as far as money could buy. And it just... long story short, it just struck me as, our life was just not going the way I planned. I had all the material things. And I say you have them until you lose the giggle. You lose the giggle on these things real quick. I know you just bought a vet, so you didn't lose the giggle yet. I'm sure you still have the giggle with that vet when you rear it up. But we wanted to live that passive lifestyle. And about 6-7 years ago, we really figured out a way to live that passive lifestyle, not only owning rental properties in emerging markets, but actually becoming the bank. Learning the true value of seller financing to investors in emerging markets where we recoup. At the time, we were recouping all our money in 12 to 18 months and still collecting payments every month. So that was the aha moment for me. Now I'm in a situation where we just like to own the assets. So we both own the assets and own the notes, and we're not looking to sell off partials and things like that. But it gets really intricate, the business. But the first way to start is really figure out what your vision is and back it out to actually hitting those goals. Because I always tell people, I said, owning a property or owning a note, when I say a note, you own the mortgage, I'm the bank. It's not sexy when it's $200 or $250 a month, right? But it gets pretty damn sexy when it's a few hundred of those going on.
Well, I actually, and I still believe that every single one of my properties, some of them making $200 a month, some of them making $800 a month, some making $1,000, whatever it may be, I find every single one of them sexy. I think what I did was I did a little bit different in my head. So I say that that property over there that makes $130 a month, that's my phone bill. So I call 123 Main Street my phone bill. Then I call whatever this one XYZ whatever I call that one my mortgage payment, or call that half my mortgage payment, and the other one's half my other one half my mortgage payment. And I've done that, and the reason I did, and this happened for me for a long time ago when I used to have another business that was a residual business as well, and the numbers weren't as high, and I used to be able to sit there and say, okay, this one's my cable bill. Because at that point, cable bill was $40. It wasn't $150 to $200 anymore, right? This was my cable bill. And I learned that from that, and I continue to use that philosophy now. In fact, I actually, you talked about buying the cars, right? So to me, it was like, okay, I got to go buy a property if I buy this vet. So I had to find another income because I actually did it with a different income. I said, okay, this is going to be my income from this source, and I'm going to take either a piece of that income or all of that income, and I'm going to buy the vet. And the vet, and it's funny you said the giggle. I'm already done with it. I smacked the mirror into the garage yesterday or last week, and that was the end of it. So I'm done with it. So yeah, now I got a nice gash in the mirror, and I'm like, oh great, I buy this brand new freaking gorgeous vet, and I smack the mirror into the garage. Pulling out of the garage, right?
I was going to ask you too, and you already brought it up, but I was going to just come back to you. I was going to say, which property address owns that vet? Because I know you, and I know what you teach your students, and there's no way you went out and bought that vet without having something else, whether it's options trading or a property buy that vet for you. And that's how you do it. We learn how to take a performing asset to help us buy our non-performing assets. Okay, and that's real important. We teach people all the time how to look at finances, how to look at debt, how to look at strategy, and back out your vision. Because when we speak at events or when we coach a student, we always sit with them and we go through their goals and their visions. And a lot of times they say, well, I want to retire. Well, what does retirement mean to you?
Right.
How much money do you actually need to retire? Okay, how are you going to get there? Flipping 30, 40 properties a year like we did? That's a job. Yeah, we made 7 figures a year, multiple years. That's a job, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When it's all said and done, the economy shifts. Are you still going to have that job? So we're in a situation where no matter what happens with the economy, our rentals are in emerging markets where there's a ton of jobs. The numbers are great. We're in Class B to C areas. There's a ton of need for housing. If banks stop lending, it doesn't affect us. We're okay, and we don't over leverage. So that's how we set ourselves up. And then what we do is we help investors that want to do what we do. We help them buy properties. Now, a lot of them can't get mortgages. They can't go to a bank and get mortgages. They either don't have the credit. They might not have the income to show. And a bank asks you for everything under the sun, including your blood work, to get a mortgage, and then they don't fund the deal anyway. So we actually sell or finance those properties to investors. We do expect skin in game. We look for 30% down or $20,000, whichever is greater, and we hold a note for you for 30-year AM with a 10-year balloon. Mm-hmm. So now, yes, you're going to make money on that. You're going to amass wealth with that. You're going to own properties. You're going to enjoy the tax benefits of that. But we also don't. We make a little less money, but we don't deal with the tenants' toilets or trash. It's a beautiful thing. So we could actually sit in the Mediterranean for 3 months a year, and our payments hit our account every single month. I don't even know what's happening, and that's truly passive wealth. That's when you've made it in passive wealth. Now, I don't want to be flipping houses anymore. I don't want to deal with the wholesaling anymore. Mm-hmm. Do I do it? Yeah, because I get deals, and I might not want them, so I wholesale them to somebody else. So it's nice when you do it because you don't want to do it, rather than that's your only means of income. So, and I'm not saying flipping is bad. I'm not saying wholesaling is bad. But when your true vision is living a passive lifestyle, you're not living a passive lifestyle doing that. Now, if you're flipping to buy rental properties or flipping to buy notes or flipping to lend, well, then you are. So that's the difference.
Right, and it's funny because I find this to be interesting that most real estate investors, this is what happens. They start buying single-family houses or they're wholesaling, whatever it may be, and they decide that they like it and they become very good at this business. But the natural progression is they either go into multi-family houses, big houses, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 units, or they become money lenders. So it's funny. So I'm right behind you because I haven't done this yet. I haven't become a money lender yet. In fact, it's very hard for me to become a money lender because how do I become a money lender if I'm doing 10 or 15% a month in stock options? Who can I lend money to at those rates, of course, right? So, but at the same time, I'm also smart enough to know that all my money can't, I'm either going to, I tell people I'm either going to burn out or I'm going to run out. I'm either going to make a mistake, and hopefully it won't be for a very long time, or I'm going to not be able to do it anymore because this mine's not going to work anymore. But I'm hoping that's not going to happen for a long time as well. However, I just, I'm starting to think multifamily houses. I'm starting to think it's time for me to start doing 10, 20, 30 unit apartment buildings and forget about this single unit stuff. Although I have to be honest with you, I really like single units. Mm-hmm. I manage probably half of my properties myself, and I talk to the tenants, and I enjoy, people find this is crazy, but I enjoy screening tenants. I enjoy talking to them. I enjoy, like when they call me up and they say, whatever the situation may be. Now, at the same time, I'm not friends with my tenants, because that's a big mistake. Sure. You never want to be friends. But I'm friendly with my tenants, and I like people. Mm-hmm. In fact, if I didn't like people, you wouldn't be here today.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't say I liked you. I just said I like people. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I like you because you're like you're like actually one of my favorite people to talk
thanks.
to.
You too. I really.
Look at first of all, right. So look at this smile, man. The guy's like got the greatest smile. He walks into a room and everybody smiles, right?
Thank you.
So again, I'm thinking about doing the multifamilies, and that seems to be the natural progression.
But why? Let me ask you why. And I say this because I own multifamilies, and I've owned them for a long time. And it seems like everybody's jumping in the multifamily market right now. And
that's why I'm not.
And it's smart. And that's why I don't want to depress people. But let's be honest. How is a multifamily valued? What do they value it on?
Well, that's okay. But your question to me, I think, was going to be, why would I want a multifamily? And you want to know the real answer?
Yeah.
Because I just want to do it.
Oh, that's cool. At least you have a reason.
Right, and I do that most of the thing. The reason you are sitting here today is for that answer.
Right.
Because I always wanted to have an interview radio show. I mean, if you actually go, it's funny because you can actually scan the internet, look up Larry Steinhouse, and you can find that I've done this before. I've been doing this for 10 years.
I could tell you got a freaking studio and a half here. You're better than Z100 right now. Sorry, Z100. I don't want to piss you off.
I don't think anybody's listening to Z100. I think more people are listening to me right now than Z100. And not that Z100 is a bad station, but everybody's on the internet.
Well, let's go back. Everyone with multifamilies, and you have a reason you want to do it, but everyone jumps into multifamilies because that's what everyone's doing now. That's sexy, right?
Correct.
But what happens is as the rates go up, unless you're buying for a value add and you get a great opportunity, as the rates go up, the net operating income comes down. And that makes the cap rates come down. So the value is based on net operating income and cap rates. Where the exit strategy on a multifamily is what? You either rent it, you continue to rent it forever, or you sell it to who? To an investor. An investor's going to base it on cap rates, a debt coverage ratio. With
Correct.
single families, the way we do it, we have 9 exit strategies. So I don't have to worry about the economy changing for my exit strategies. If banks stop lending, even better. I lend more.
So tell me about, so when you say 9 exit strategies, can you rattle them off, or is that, okay, go, please do, because that's going to be awesome.
I do seller finance. I do a cash deal. I'll sell them cash deal. I'll rent them out.
You can't put your finger in front of your face, by the way.
Cash, I'll do it down here. Cash deal. I'll rent them out. I'll do a conventional mortgage on them. Right. Okay. I'll sell them on owner occupied. I'll sell them to investors, multiple investors. I'll do partials on them, partial loans on them, and partials are a little bit more intricate.
I find that fascinating. The first time you describe partials to me, I'm like, huh? What?
Just a real overview of partials is, let's say we're taking 120 payments, so we do a 10-year balloon. We could sell 30 payments, 40 payments, 50 payments, and we get the loan back after that. We can go to a bank. If we have a note, we can go to a bank and do a collateral assignment and get a lending on a collateral assignment on that. We could bring a joint venture in to fund our deals at that point. There's a number of things, whereas on a multifamily deal, I bought multis and I did great on multis. And people are still, I have friends that buy multis, they're doing great on multis. But everybody's jumping these multis. And I'm watching what they're buying. They don't understand above the line, below the line. They don't understand CapEx. They don't understand markets. And you still have to be involved and you still have to manage. You can't leave the country for 3 months a year and expect the property manager to handle that multifamily for you the right way. So it's cool to own it. And I'm saying go for it. But I'm just saying, be careful because I see everybody jumping to multifamilies because that's what Facebook, all these guys are showing all the multifamilies they're buying. But it doesn't fit their exit strategy because if you ask them why are you buying multis, they don't want a passive lifestyle. What in the world multifamily you think you're going to have that you have a passive lifestyle? You have the best property manager in the world that you don't have to be on. You don't have to talk to them. Our multifamily.
I think when you're talking about that, you're talking about 300 units. We're not talking about a 10 or 20 unit. A 300 unit, you're buying a company.
It's easier.
You're not buying, right, exactly.
No, it's easier to own a 300 unit.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. You're buying a company. You're not buying, and because it's funny because that's part of why I don't even know if I want to do a multifamily because I don't want to be a CEO. I want to be a real estate investor, or I want to have fun. You're
having a ton of fun. I see it.
And I think I've said this to you before. My big why in life is, look, I got about 30 years left, right? And I just want to have a blast over those 30 years. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
And people are following you. Listen, you're somebody that even I look up to because you're different than a lot of people. I was blessed that, I guess, I don't know, I was blessed of buying in the right area. When the market turned, I'm doing this 27 years. When the market turned, I was unscathed because I own properties in the right area. But I give a lot of credit, and I listen to people who, like, you you know, why you're taking it so serious is because you stand up in front of a room and you're like, "Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse. I went bankrupt."
Yeah, right.
And that's pretty cool. You know, everyone else is not doing that kind of stuff. Everyone else is talking about how great they're doing, but they're also in the business 2 years, 3 years. They've closed a couple of deals, and all of a sudden they're gurus. And this is why people need to listen to people like yourself or other people who've been through downturns and actually came back in the worst times, have come back to do what they're doing now and to do the business the way you're doing it now and having fun and showing people that, listen, you know, right now anyone could buy real estate, make money, but let's get through those road bumps. Let's figure out a way when I'm bankrupt and a bank is not going to touch me with money that I can actually do, you know, rentals where I could do subject twos.
Exactly. Subject to.
You're the expert on subject twos.
Yeah.
I wouldn't teach somebody subject twos because I'm not an expert at it. I've done 4 of them in my career.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're so easy. They're so easy.
But I stay in my lane. That's the thing.
And that's smart. And that's a big key is
I'm boring.
Right. Well, no, but I don't think you're boring at all. Because there are certain things that, so like,
I'm fun outside, but I'm boring in real estate.
I'm going to tell you how many fix and flips I've done, which is one ever. and it's funny, but you know, I've bought properties, I fix them up, and I rent them. I've never done a fix and flip. I wholesale properties, or I've wholesale lease option properties.
Right.
I've never really taken a property. I just don't. It's not my business. Now it's funny because what's happening is, you know, I'm starting to see a slight change, a slight shift in the market. So I also want to say, okay, maybe I should start moving a little bit into some other things. So Evan, you know, Evan, my partner Evan, and I, the other day we were actually looking at a fix and flip. Now we're buying it right. If we weren't buying it right, we wouldn't be interested in it whatsoever. We could pick up this property in Doylestown that we think we could sell for a lot of money at a cheap number. And by the way, this is great. You know, when you're in this business and you understand this business, how long does it take you to find money on a property like that?
Enough, quick.
3 seconds.
Quick. But I'll tell you what I learned. You're saying that, right? So we're talking about fix and flips, and we've done. Now, as far as fix and flips, and if we count rentals in there, because I actually fixed and flipped those to investors, we're at over 2,000. But
wow,
yeah. So, and I couldn't hang that picture behind you straight, Larry. So if
you actually look on the internet, I don't think it is straight.
So that tells you right there. You don't have to be a contractor. You don't have to know how to use tools. I don't even know if I have a real toolkit. I might. My wife will laugh at me. I might have a toolkit.
Do you own a drill?
I actually own 2 drills.
Okay.
I don't know if I have batteries for them, but I have drills.
That's a great story. There's people who buy drills, and you know, and it's funny. I saw this presentation the other day given by I can't remember who it was. And so terrible that I forget the guy's name, but he he talks about how people buy drills and they use them for 18 minutes in their entire life, not the entire life of the drill, the entire life of the person. They use the drill for 18 minutes. Why don't they just rent it?
I'm going home tonight after I speak at the next event, and I'm just turning my drill on for a good 20 minutes. I'm going to beat that trend. But anyway, what's happening now in wholesale, because everybody's out there paying top dollar. Everyone, they're coming out of these groups, and they have to get a deal, right? And they don't know how to figure out the numbers. That's why they have to be trained by people like. I don't train new wholesalers. I don't train new flippers. But guys like you train them, and you have a great reputation in this industry. So if somebody comes to me and say, listen, I've done a ton of wholesale deals. I've done a ton of flips. I'm not the guy to train you for that. I'm at a different level where I train. Go to someone like Larry and train. Don't try to take on everyone. But what's happening, what I found with wholesale deals, because I've done them this year, I just don't have the time to take on a lot of deals anymore because everything we have going on with the business and campaigning and all that stuff. But I've taken these wholesale deals and I've hoteled them. And I've made more money hoteling deals than I used to.
Explain hoteling.
Okay, but I was going to say, I made more money hoteling deals than I've made flipping on deals. Mm-hmm. I make over 40 grand, usually hoteling a deal, 30 to 40 grand. So what I do is I will close on that deal. We have the cash. We'll close on the deal. We'll actually put it right back on the market. I don't even do highest and best offer because I have a decent amount of buyers. I know what they need to make on a deal. I still make them a decent amount of money. But if I do the whole thing, right? So I'll make $40,000, let's say, on a hotel deal. If I do the whole thing myself, maybe I'll make 65. Is it worth my time to make 65 or just get rid of it at a hotel and let them handle it?
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean because that's exactly what I've done in the past. Is I've wanted to make sure that if I can make this money, I might as well.
You have this deal in Doylestown. I guarantee you it'd be a great hotel deal.
No, I know,
instead of you and Evan wasting your time on it.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that you just say I'm going to waste my time, but at the same time, I want to do it. It's fun.
That's
it's
different.
Something
That's different.
It's fun. So we don't have a whole lot of time, so I want to go real quick. You have a website that you wanted to talk about. It's a passive wealth Wealth Academy. It's up on the screen. You can't see it, but the audience can see it now. If you could tell me a little bit about that and what's up there and how it can help people.
Yeah, what we're doing is what I put together, because I'm doing this. I'm speaking at a couple other events this week, and I wanted to give something away for people because they, we're out there coaching, we're out there speaking nationwide at different events, and a lot of people hit me up and they're like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And we have our private group out there, and we have online training. We have 2 online training classes, but I always like to give back, and I want people to use it. So what we did is we put together 7 steps to our business that people can get for free just for going on there, dropping their email address, and then what we'll do is anytime we come out with stuff, like we'll come out with spreadsheets now and then. Anytime we come out with anything that we're not going to sell, we'll put it on the free side. We want to give it out to them. So it's just our way of giving back. So if they go to PassiveWealthAcademy.com/42K. The 42K is basically for our monthly income. That's going to change.
That's not a bad income, by the way. I could probably live on that. I realize I might have to sell the vet, but I could probably.
And for me, it's a little tough because I'm not. It's been always hard for me to actually put out. Like I don't like to put out what I make. I don't like to. I've never seen me put checks online. I just won't do that. Right. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I'm more reserved like that. I don't like.
Yeah, I understand. I have to show my stock options training because I want to. It's proof of concept to me.
And that's what I hired a marketing company, and we've put a lot of money into our marketing company. And their thing is social. You need to have proof. Sure. And I'm an open book. If my students have sat down with me, I've opened my book. I've opened my tax returns to them. Right? I've opened my bank account to them. I've opened all my mortgage statements to them. I showed them my rent roll. I showed them my personal financial statement. And I think you have to do that. You have to ask people if you're going to, work with them. You have to actually check and verify who they are, because if anyone checks and verifies who you are, you say, "Hey, I'm Larry. I've done this, and I've had this problem, and I fought back, and this is what I have."
Absolutely.
And there's no talent. There's nothing in the world that says, "Hey, Larry hasn't done what he says he does. He's done."
Absolutely.
So that's there, and it'll give you 7 steps. It's really good. We also constantly, we're putting out videos trying to help people. Obviously, we can't teach you everything on Facebook Live. We can't teach you everything on our group. We do have more trainings for that on how to raise. We used to call it how to raise $1 million or more in 90 days. I kind of took that name away because guys that have done my for the raising money have raised $900,000 in 2 weeks.
Wow, that's great. Wow.
We also have the Creating Wealth course online that we put out there now and then. And that's basically teaches you our business, or really a rundown, and gives you all our materials, all our paperwork, all our legal docs, all our presentations, everything like that. So we really try to help it out. We're trying to cut through the crap out there that all the noise. Everybody's an expert. Yeah. And for so long we haven't done it because we just wanted to stay away from the noise. And like I said, if you get on that link, the most important thing, if you get on that link, we will hit you up with the launch when our first book comes out next week.
So give the website real quick, and then we're done.
All right, PassiveWealthAcademy.com/42K.
Thanks so much for coming, man, and good luck on your campaign. And we didn't get into that, but good luck on that. That's awesome, man.
Thanks. It was awesome being here.